It's Friday, the 21st of July, and I'm here in Stockholm in the Newswire Direkt studio to give you this week's update on what's moving the markets. Welcome to Nordic Market News. We are in the peak of the reporting season, and this week we've seen a flood of companies reporting their quarterly earnings, and we've seen them from the telecom industry, from the banking sector, and from the capital goods sector. The top performing Nordic index this week is yet again the Norwegian OBX. And the mood of the Norwegians, as we know, is heavily reliant on oil. And the Brent actually crossed the $50 line a couple of times already yesterday. That was Thursday. And that marked an upswing of about 2% this week and 7% for the last month. I took notes of the markets around noon. And the leading Nordic index this week has been the OBX, as I mentioned, and it's up about 2%. And after that, we have the Copenhagen index, the C20, which is up 0.5%. Behind that, we have the Finnish index, the OMXH25, which is down about 2.5%. And suffering the most is the Stockholm index, the OMXS30, which is down more than 3%. To provide some background on the success of the Norwegians, it's actually not just about the oil. It's also about telecom giant Telenor, which surprised investors Monday by posting better than expected quarterly results. The stock rose about 8% after a very strong showing in the quarter. Swedish teleoperator Tele2 attempted to mimic the success of its Norwegian counterpart, but fell slightly short, gaining about 6.5% before the close on Wednesday. On Thursday, however, Telia broke the streak of the telecompany's reporting as its results came in below the estimates and the stock suffered a 3% drop. Moving on to the banking sector, most of the large banks in the Nordic region have presented generally strong earnings for the quarter, but they're lacking in financial income, and the crowd has been very tough on the sector. The Danish bank, Danske Bank, for example, presented well above analyst expectations, but closed around 1% lower on Thursday. The largest Swedish bank, Nordea, gravely disappointed its investors on Thursday, triggering a 5% drop in its share price. The severe drop in share price is not all due to earnings this quarter, says analysts, but rather the market was hoping to get some answers to the questions on whether or not the Nordea headquarters will stay in Sweden or move abroad. Speaking about Sweden, the biggest loser this week was tech company Ericsson, that dropped more than 15% Tuesday. The company's earnings came in much lower than expected, and in an interview following the report, Ericsson said that it will become much more difficult to reach the target of improving profitability by 2018. In Denmark, jewelry maker Pandora rocketed on Thursday after analysts from Carnegie stapled the stock with a buy recommendation. The stock moved about 7%, which was unusually vivid for a company of this size, but the stock has been under pressure during the year, and the movement could be described as a relief rally. In Finland and the capital goods sector, Wärtsilä, excuse the pronunciation, was popular on the market after revealing the numbers behind their quarter. The Wärtsilä share traded around 7% higher on Thursday. Among notable mentions in the capital goods sector, Atlas Copco weighed heavily on the stock market on Monday, dropped about 7% after a very disappointing quarter. With that said, I would like to thank you for watching this week's Nordic Market News. We will be back next week. See you then.